Do you ever look at old jars, tin cans, or little scraps lying around the house and think, maybe I should just toss these? Well, hold on a second. Don't throw them away just yet. What if I told you those everyday bits of so-called trash could be the very things that turn your garden into pure autumn magic? Imagine a cozy fall garden where the colors glow like a quilt of oranges, reds, and golds, all created from items you already have at home. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Gardening can feel expensive at times. Those fancy pots, seasonal decorations, and store-bought ornaments really add up. But here's the secret. You don't need deep pockets to enjoy deep beauty. With just a few thrifty ideas, you can create a garden that not only saves money but looks so charming that even your neighbors might sneak peeks over the fence wondering, how did they do it? I've seen a friend of mine use nothing but painted jars and old baskets, and I promise you, her backyard looks like a page out of a fall magazine spread. Welcome, my dear friends, to Golden Year's Lifestyle Hub, our warm little corner where we share affordable garden projects designed to bring joy and ease to your golden years. Think of this as your friendly invitation to slow down, get creative, and let your hands shape a space that makes your heart happy. And if you love simple, gentle projects that bring a little extra sparkle to your garden, I'd love for you to join our growing family here. Go ahead and subscribe so you won't miss the next set of cozy, affordable ideas we'll be sharing. After all, every garden deserves a touch of magic, especially yours. Ah, autumn, the season when golden leaves carpet the ground, pumpkins brighten porches, and evenings carry that crisp, cozy air. It always takes me back to childhood, gathering leaves in big piles just to hear them crunch under our shoes. Today, we're going to capture that same spirit with just a few everyday items, things you might even be tempted to throw away. We'll create 15 beautiful autumn-inspired decorations that make your garden feel warm, inviting, and full of seasonal charm. DIY idea number 1, mason jar leaf lanterns. Let's start with something soft and glowing. Mason jar leaf lanterns. You probably have a few jars tucked away in the kitchen or garage. All you need is a little glue, a brush, and some colorful leaves that have fallen in your yard. Gently press the leaves onto the outside of the jar, letting the reds, golds, and oranges overlap like a patchwork quilt. Once it dries, drop a candle or a battery tea light inside. When the sun sets, these jars come alive with a warm, flickering glow that feels like holding autumn in your hands. Line them along a pathway, place them on your porch steps, or even set one on the patio table for evening tea. I remember visiting a neighbor who had these glowing along her walkway. It looked so inviting I almost didn't want to leave. Little touches like this make your home feel like a cozy retreat. DIY idea number 2, pumpkin planters from old buckets. Now let's roll up our sleeves for something bold and festive, turning old buckets into pumpkin planters. Don't worry if your buckets are a little rusty. That only adds charm. Give them a coat of bright orange spray paint, and suddenly they're transformed into cheerful pumpkins. If you want to get fancy, use a stencil to add leaf shapes, or even draw on a jack-o'-lantern face for fun. Then fill them with hardy autumn blooms like mums or pansies. Their deep purples, yellows, and reds spill over the rim, creating a burst of seasonal color. I have a friend who lined her front porch with these bucket pumpkins, and I swear it looked like she hired a professional decorator. The best part? You spent just a fraction of what store-bought planters would cost. That's the magic of seeing potential where others might see junk. DIY idea number 3, tin can scarecrows. And for a bit of playful charm, let's make tin can scarecrows. Save a few soup cans, give them a good rinse, and paint little friendly faces right on the metal. Add a bit of straw for hair, tie on an old bandana, and top it off with a mini straw hat. Many dollar store seller for crafts. You can hang these cheerful fellows on a garden fence or let them dangle from tree branches where they'll bob in the breeze. Now, between you and me, they might not frighten a single crow. In fact, the crows may sit nearby and laugh at them, but I promise you'll smile every time you pass by, and guests will get a kick out of them too. I once saw a whole row of tin can scarecrows greeting visitors at a fall festival. They stole the show. That's the beauty of crafting. It brings joy whether or not it serves its official purpose. DIY idea number 4. Rustic wreath from cardboard. For this next project, let's turn something as simple as a cardboard box into a rustic autumn wreath. Cut out a ring shape from the box. Don't worry about it being perfect. The charm comes from its handmade look. Now, gather pine cones, fallen leaves, maybe even a ribbon or two you've saved from last year. With a little glue, attach them around the ring until it looks full and festive. Hang it on your front door or even on the garden shed, and suddenly, you've created a warm autumn welcome without spending a cent. I remember my grandmother making wreaths like this every year, using whatever nature offered that season. It's a tradition that feels both thrifty and deeply comforting, like wrapping your home in a hug of autumn colors. DIY idea number 5. Broken chair plant stand. Now, let's rescue that wobbly chair you've been thinking of tossing out. Instead of heading to the trash, let shine again as a plant stand. Remove the seat if it's broken, place a pot inside, and plant vibrant autumn flowers like asters or marigolds. The chair becomes a stage, and your flowers take center spotlight. It's the kind of quirky touch that gives your garden personality. I once saw a neighbor's old chair-turned planter sitting by the mailbox, bursting with purple asters, and I'll tell you, the mailman stopped just to admire it. That's the beauty of these projects. They turn the ordinary, even the broken, into something everyone notices and enjoys. DIY idea number 6. Glass bottle borders. And here's one that truly sparkles: glass bottle borders. Collect colorful bottles, maybe from old sodas or wine, and bury them halfway into the soil along a garden path. When the sun hits them just right, they glow like stained glass, casting shimmering colors onto the ground. It's simple, yet adds a magical glow to your garden walkways. Now, a gentle reminder: always wear gloves when handling glass bottles. Your hands are precious tools, and we want them safe and sound for many more projects. I've seen paths lined this way that looked as if they belonged in a storybook. Every step felt like walking through a glowing mosaic. Imagine your guests pausing to admire the sparkle, asking where on earth you found such a clever idea. DIY idea number 7. Old sweater planter wraps. Here's a project that brings warmth and texture straight into the garden: old sweater planter wraps. Take a sweater that's seen better days, snip off the sleeves, and slide them snugly over your flower pots. Instantly, your pots go from plain to cozy, almost like they're dressed for autumn themselves. The soft-knit fabric gives a welcoming look, and it's such a clever way to reuse something that might otherwise sit forgotten in a drawer. I once saw a porch lined with sweater-wrapped pots of mums, and it felt like the whole garden was bundled up for sweater weather. It's these little touches that make a space feel lived in and loved. DIY idea number 8. Wheelbarrow pumpkin display. Next, let's breathe life into that old rusty wheelbarrow sitting in the shed. Instead of tossing it out, turn it into a rustic autumn centerpiece. Simply wheel it into your garden or onto your porch, fill it with pumpkins, gourds, and maybe a sprinkle of hay or dried corn stalks, and you've got yourself a harvest display that looks like something straight out of country fair. A neighbor of mine did this once, and I remember thinking her wheelbarrow looked more charming than anything sold at the store. The rust, the dents, even the wobbly wheel, it all adds character. Sometimes the imperfections make the decoration even more beautiful. DIY idea number 9. Bird feeder from teacups. And now for something sweet and whimsical: a bird feeder made from teacups. Take an old teacup and saucer, glue them together, and hang them upside down from a chain or sturdy string. Add a bit of birdseed, and you've created the perfect autumn tea party for your feathered friends. It's delightful to watch little chickadees, sparrows, and nuthatches gather around for their tea time. And here's a nostalgic chuckle for you. Remember when teacups were for tea? Well, now the birds are the ones sipping away. It's a project that adds charm to your garden and brings nature just a little closer to your doorstep. DIY idea number 10. Leaf print stepping stones. Let's begin this round with something that feels like bottling up autumn itself: leaf print stepping stones. Mix up a bit of cement or plaster, Pour it into simple molds or pans, and while it's still soft, gently press in leaves from your yard. Maple, oak, or even fern leaves make beautiful impressions. Once dry, the stones capture the delicate veins and shapes, almost like nature's signer name right there in your garden path. Imagine walking across your yard and seeing your favorite fall leaves forever etched into stone. It feels like keeping a piece of the season with you year-round. I've seen these used as garden markers too, and every time, they spark a smile. DIY idea number 11, tire pumpkin towers. Now, here's a playful one, tire pumpkin towers. If you've got old tires lying around, stack them up, give them a coat of orange paint, and suddenly they transform into giant pumpkins. Add a stick or wooden pole on top of the stem, maybe even tuck in a few green leaves or vines, and you've got a statement piece that will make your yard the talk of the neighborhood. A friend of mine made one for her front lawn, and people driving by actually slowed down to admire it. It's whimsical, it's fun, and best of all, it's a wonderful way to reuse something most of us would just send to the dump. DIY idea number 12, old frame autumn art. And for a touch of elegance, let's give old picture frames a second life. Take a frame, big or small, fancy or simple, and fill it with bits of autumn, twigs, colorful leaves, or even pressed flowers you've saved. Hang on a fence, prop it against a tree, or display it on your porch. It becomes instant outdoor artwork, a little gallery of the season right in your own garden. The beauty here is that there's no right or wrong. It's all about adding a touch of yourself to your space. I've seen someone use nothing but a few golden leaves tucked into a frame, and it looked like a masterpiece. Your imagination is the only rule. DIY idea number 13, fairy doors from scrap wood. Now, here's one that will sprinkle a little whimsy into your garden. Fairy doors made from scrap wood. Cut or shape a small piece of wood into a door, paint it with cheerful colors, and add tiny details like a button for a doorknob. Then, attach it to the base of a tree trunk or even a fence post. Suddenly, it looks like magical little folk are living right there in your yard. Children adore them, but let me tell you, adults smile just as much. I remember visiting a friend's garden where she had fairy doors tucked here and there, and it felt like walking through a storybook. Simple, sweet, and absolutely charming. DIY idea number 14, hanging basket cornucopias. Next, let's make a symbol of abundance, cornucopias from old hanging baskets. Flip the basket upside down, line it with burlap if you'd like, and let pine cones, colorful leaves, and gourds spill out as though the season itself is tipped over in your garden. Place one by the porch steps, or even two at the entrance of your garden path for a festive welcome. These make your outdoor space feel warm and inviting, and they cost next to nothing if you're using what you already have. I once saw a pair of these at a neighbor's gate, and I'll be honest, I slowed down just to take a better look. DIY idea number 15, tin lid wind chimes. And finally, let's give your garden a voice with tin lid wind chimes. Gather oldkin lids, punch a hole in each one, and tie them together with autumn-colored ribbons, deep reds, golden yellows, or soft browns. Hang them from a branch or a shepherd's hook, and as the breeze passes through, they'll clink gently, almost like a soft autumn melody. It's like autumn is singing right in your backyard. I've always loved projects that add sound to a garden because it makes the space feel alive, not just with color and texture, but with music too. Before we wrap up, let me share a few gentle bonus touches that can make your autumn garden feel even more special. Try weaving a strand of fairy lights through your wreaths or draping them inside your cornucopia baskets. As evening falls, those tiny twinkles glow like captured stars, creating a cozy invitation to linger just a little longer outside. If your real blooms begin to fade, don't hesitate to tuck in a few faux flowers from the Dollar Tree. They'll keep the color alive in your garden beds or displays, and no one passing by will mind. They'll only see the brightness and cheer. And here's one of my favorites. Add a few cinnamon sticks, dried oranges, or cloves to your arrangements. A gentle breeze will carry that fragrance, wrapping your space in the sense of fall. It's like the season is giving you a hug every time you step outside. And always remember, my dear friend, these projects don't need to be perfect. They just need to bring you joy. That's what matters most. Creating a garden that feels like home and makes you smile every time you see it. We've come such a lovely way together today. We've taken jars, cans, bottles, sweaters, and even old chairs and turned them into 15 magical autumn garden treasures, each one proving that beauty doesn't have to come with a big price tag. Sometimes, the most ordinary things can hold the most extraordinary charm when we give them a little care and creativity. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which project warmed your heart the most? Was it the glowing mason jar lanterns, the playful tin can scarecrows, or maybe those sweater wrap planters that feel like a hug for your flowers? Share your stories in the comments. I treasure hearing how these ideas come to life in your gardens. And if you enjoyed these cozy touches, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Golden Years Lifestyle Hub for more budget-friendly garden magic. This is our growing family, and you're a big part of it. Until next time, may your garden glow with autumn's golden touch, and may your heart feel just as warm.